They might want to overhear. Let's not take the dime off. Okay. And of course, I have a little treat for later. Okay. So come a little closer so you can see the pictures, okay? Because this is called, and you, I don't know if we're going to use this. It's echoing, isn't it?
Have a mic on.
Oh, I have a mic on.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just talk loud. You'll hear it for sure. So this is called A Tale of Three Trees. See right here? A Tale of Three Trees. 1, 2, and there's the third one. Okay. You're going to see better because I'm not going to be able to show all this to you. So you just have to overhear, and if you want to see the pictures later, I'll bring it to coffee time, and you can see it at coffee time. Just don't spill any coffee on it. Okay. The Tale of Three Trees. Once upon a mountaintop, there stood 3 trees, and they dreamed of what they wanted to be when they grew up. See the little trees? There they are. Okay. That's when they're baby trees or children trees, either one. The first tree looked up at the stars twinkling like diamonds above it. He said, I want to hold treasure. I want to be covered in gold and filled with precious stones. And I will be the most beautiful treasure chest in the world. And here's his dream. See the treasure chest? Okay. Next. The second little tree looked out to the small trickling stream on its way to the ocean. I want to be a strong sailing ship. And I want to travel the mighty waters and carry powerful kings, and I will be the strongest ship in the whole world. See the ship here? That was his dream. And the third tree, that's this one, looked into the valley below where busy men and busy women worked in a busy town. I don't want to leave this mountaintop at all, she said. I want to grow so tall that when people look at me, they will raise their eyes to heaven and think of God. I will be the tallest tree in the world. Years passed. The rains came, the sun shone, and the little trees grew tall. See how big they are now? And one day, 3 woodcutters climbed up the mountain. Uh-oh. The first woodcutter looked at the first tree and said, this tree is perfect for me. And with a swoop of his shining axe, the first tree fell. Now I shall be made into a beautiful chest, thought the first tree, and I shall hold wonderful treasure. The second woodcutter looked at the second tree. This tree is strong and it's perfect for me. With a swoop of his shining axe, the second tree fell. Now I shall sail the mighty waters, said the second tree, and I shall be a strong ship, fit for kings. The third tree felt in her heart sink as the last woodcutter was looking at her. She stood straight and tall, and she pointed to God and pointed to heaven. But the woodcutter never even looked up. And with a swoop of his axe, he cut down the third tree. The first tree rejoiced when the woodcutter brought him to a carpenter's shop. But the carpenter was not thinking about treasure chests. Instead, his work-worn hands fashioned the tree into a feed box for animals. And the once beautiful tree was not covered in gold or filled with treasure. He was coated with sawdust and filled with hay for hungry farm animals. You see this? The feed box for the animals instead of the treasure chest. The second tree smiled when the woodcutter took him to the shipyard, but no mighty sailing ships were made that day. Instead, the once strong tree was hammered and sawed into a simple fishing boat. See the little boat? He wanted to be a big, mighty ship. And the little boat was too weak and too small to even sail on the ocean. But he was taken to a lake. And every day he brought in loads of smelly fish. That wasn't quite his dream. And then the third tree was confused when the woodcutter cut her into strong beams, and left her in a lumber yard. What happened? The once tall tree wondered. All I ever wanted to do was stay on the mountaintop and point to God. Many days and many nights passed, and the three trees nearly forgot their dream. But one golden starlit night, starlight poured over the first tree as a young woman placed her newborn baby in the feed box. I wish I could make a cradle for him, said her husband, and the mother squeezed his hand and smiled as the starlight shone on the smooth and sturdy wood. This manger is beautiful, she said, and suddenly the first tree knew he was holding the greatest treasure in the world. Because who's this? It's baby Jesus. You got the hint, right? Okay. Well, one evening, a tired traveler and his friends crowded into an old fishing boat. The traveler fell asleep. The traveler fell asleep as the second tree, who'd become a fishing boat, sailed on. But soon a big storm arose, and there was thunder, and there was lightning, and the little tree that was a little boat was scared, and so were the friends of the master. And the tired man awakened, and he stood up, and he stretched his hand, and he said, "Peace." And the storm stopped as quickly as it had begun. And suddenly the second tree knew he was carrying the King of all heaven and earth. But what happened to the third tree? The third tree was startled one day when her beams were being yanked from the forgotten woodpile, and she flinched as she was carried through the angry, jeering crowd, and she shuddered when soldiers nailed a man's hands to her. She felt ugly and harsh and cruel because she had become a cross. But on Sunday morning, when the sun rose and the earth trembled with joy beneath her, the third tree knew that God's love had changed everything. He had made that first tree, that cross, beautiful. He had made that second tree strong. And every time people thought of the third tree, they would think of God. This was better than being the tallest tree in all the world. So their dreams came true anyway, but in a different way than they thought. And, of course, I have something to remind you of the trees, because these are like, feel this right here. Does it feel like the bark of a tree? Kind of. Yeah. This is a magnet you can put on the refrigerator or wherever you could want to stick it, and it'll remind you of the tree. So when you think of this magnet, think of God and think of the three trees. Think of Jesus. And this magnet happens to have a little saying that says, God has you in the palm of his hand. So you can, actually these two are the same. You want one of these? There you go. Take this. There you go. All right. Enjoy Sunday school.